Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. So today I'm going to be doing a mini tutorial and a review on the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. This palette has had so much hype and so much controversy going around it in the last couple of weeks, to the point that I was so skeptical about this palette because of all the other Naked Heat palettes and all the dupes that are out there for this palette. But honestly, I was pleasantly surprised by this palette. Seriously surprised by this palette. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts as well as seeing how I got this beautiful eye look, please keep on watching. And if you're not, please stop right here. It's not worth your time and effort. So let's get into the video. So the first eyeshadow I'm using is called Low Blow, and I'm applying that to my crease as my transition shade using a Luxie 237 blending brush. So next I'm going to be going in with this rusty red brown shade called He Devil. And then using the brush that came in with the palette, I'm just going to place that right below that. And it's also going to deepen that up a little bit. Next I'm going to go into the shade called Cayenne, this shade right here. And I'm just going to apply that shade using a Luxie 121 mini tapered brush to the outer and inner corners of my eye. Next, I'm going to be taking the shade Fuego, and I'm going to deepen the outer and inner corner, and I'm using a Coastal Scents pencil brush. I'm going to take that in the crease a little bit as well. Going into this dark purpley brown shade called Ashes right here. I'm deepening up the outer and inner corner even further using my MAC 217 brush. Now I'm just blending out any harsh lines using He Devil and that Luxie brush we used to apply Low Blow. Just to blend out any harsh lines. For the center of my lid, I'm going to be taking the shade Lumber. So I have it on this flat shader brush. I'm going to be using my Physicians Formula Insta Ready setting spray to wet that down. And then I'm placing that in the middle of my lid. So now I'm just lining my waterline and my lower lash line using the Rimmel Kohl pencil in black. So now I'm just smudging that liner out using He Devil, the shade we used in our crease earlier. Then I'm going to go in with Fuego and place that right up against my lower lash line. And kind of bring it down a little bit. To highlight my brow bone and my inner corner, I'm going to be using my Low Cal Clio highlighter. So for mascara, I'm going to be using the Essence Lash Princess Mascara. I'm going to apply a couple generous coats of that onto my lashes. So, and then right now I'm just popping on my lashes, and they are the Vegas Nay Grand Glamour lashes. This is the finished eye look, you guys. I kept the box so you guys can see how the outer packaging looks like. So this is what it looks like. It says Naked Heat and Urban Decay on the front. It has all the shades, pictures of all the shades on the front, as well as on the back, the brush, and how Urban Decay describes the palette. It says, Naked Heats Up. Get lit with 12 all-new Can't Live Without amber-hued neutrals, including warm browns, burnt oranges, and rich siennas. From a super smooth red-brown matte and a glimmering copper to a deep, shifty bronze, this palette has everything you need to create sultry daytime looks, intensely smoky nighttime looks, and everything in between. I definitely think that lives up to this palette. Removing the sleeve, because it's in the sleeve. This is what the palette looks like inside the box, and removing it outside of the insert part of the sleeve. On the back, it has flaming roses, which I absolutely love because roses are my favorite flowers ever, and they're on fire, and I love how they incorporated that into the packaging. And then you have matchsticks, from just having the tip burnt all the way down to the entire matchstick burnt, which I think is really, really cool packaging. So the packaging is definitely an A1 for me. And then this is the palette. So it says Naked Heat, and then it has varying degrees of reds and oranges and yellows. It literally looks like heat. Once you think of heat, this is what you think of the colors. And then on the back, it is just copper, and it has where it's made, Urban Decay's motto, beauty with an edge, things of that nature. So that's what's on the back. So the packaging is plastic, which is the same as the Naked Smoky palette, but I think it's different than the Basics and Ultimate Basics palette, and definitely different than Naked 1, 2, and 3. Naked 1 has the matte, the velvet packaging, not matte, the velvet packaging. It's cardboard and it's magnetic. It's not the best packaging, but that was their very first palette and they've stuck with that design. 2 and 3 has that metal packaging with a clasp. I didn't really like that packaging that much because if you drop it, there's a higher chance of breaking those eyeshadows versus in this kind of packaging. I feel like with this packaging, if you dropped it, it would take a lot of drops before the product on the inside actually breaks. So I definitely like this packaging. I feel like Urban Decay from now on should have this plastic packaging for all of their palettes. I feel like that would be a great thing to have for this. So this is what the inside of the palette looks like. You get 5 shimmers and 7 mattes. When I found out that information, I was so excited. So excited, because usually Urban Decay Naked palettes, they have between 2 to 4 matte shades, and usually those matte shades are transition shades, and they're usually very, very ashy, which doesn't work on women of color because they either tend to look like straight up just dust and ash on us, or they go and blend into our skin, which is not ideal for us as transition shades. So I was very, very happy that this palette does come with 7 matte shades, several of which, for example, Low Blow, Heat Devil, Cayenne, those 3 shades, we can use as transition shades, and I'm so excited. And I love Heat Devil and Cayenne primarily as my top 2 transition shades in this palette because I love Rusty Red Browns in my crease a lot. That's typically what I go for when I go for a transition shade, which is awesome. Low Blow is also amazing as a transition shade. It's very, very buildable. I thought I wouldn't like this one as a transition shade, but I was wrong. I was very, 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 very wrong. Personally, from what I've seen from swatches, this palette does not swatch that well from what I've seen. Some people says it swatches well, other people say it doesn't swatch well. I think I'm somewhere in the middle when it comes to that. It's not the best yet, it's not the worst out of the swatches that I've seen. Personally, from what I've seen in Fuego, this shade right here, This one swatch is the worst out of all of them, but I feel like out of all the mattes, it performs the best on the eye. I don't know why, it just does. It also comes with a brush. You get like a pointed blending brush on one side. If this will focus, it's not focusing. It doesn't want to focus. But you get a pointed blender brush on one side, as well as like a shader type blending brush on the other, which is great. I typically like to use Urban Decay's brushes that come in these palettes. I know some people hate them, but I like them. More brushes for my collection. So I've been wearing this palette almost every day since I got it at Generation Beauty, and I honestly think that this is the best Naked palette. If I didn't have any of the other Naked palettes and Urban Decay released this one, this is the one that I would get if I didn't spend my money on the other ones. This one is the only one I would have in my collection. I feel like this is well worth the money. Women of color, if you do not have this palette, you need it in your life. This looks amazing on dark skin, medium skin tone, medium deep skin tones. This palette is so freaking good. If you don't have it, you need to get your hands on it. Like, you need it. You absolutely need it. It's definitely well worth the $54 US or 66 Canadian dollars. So even though it's great that Urban Decay launched this now, I feel like they should have launched it when they launched Smoky, because it would have been cool to see where there's smoke, there's fire kind of thing, like where there's a smoke, there's a fire kind of collection. That would have been awesome just to see. And I know several people have talked about that, but I think that would have been awesome. But nonetheless, this palette is an amazing palette. Definitely, if you do not have a Naked palette, this one is definitely the one you want to go for. Definitely well worth the money, and I'm not saying this because I was gifted this by Urban Decay. I was planning on purchasing it anyway. I just was gifted this first when I got it. So definitely well worth the money. Definitely will work on so many different skin tones. This is definitely the one for women of color, especially for darker skinned women of color. If you want a Naked palette, definitely this is the palette to get. Yes, is it similar to the 350 palette? Yes. But personally, out of the 350 palette, I'd rather gravitate to this over that one any day, personally. I'm not really a big fan of Morphe eyeshadows, and I prefer Urban Decay's formula over that anyway, so I don't like the Morphe formula, the way they do their eyeshadows. I don't like it. They're very chalky, they're very dry, and I prefer Urban Decay's eyeshadow formula personally. For me, they were one of the first brands I started off with makeup, so I know and I like their formula. Yeah, but if you have the 350 palette and you looking at this palette and you don't think you should get this palette, you don't have to get it. You don't have to get it, but I totally recommend this palette for those who do not have a 350 palette and are looking to get an Urban Decay Naked palette. So I hope you guys enjoyed my mini tutorial and review on the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. Let me know in the comments down below if you've tried this palette, what do you think of it? Or if you haven't, will you be getting it? And what do you think of it? So yeah, also don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, as well as tap that notification button so you don't miss any future video uploads from me. As well as don't forget to follow me on my social media platforms. My Instagram and Twitter are at gbemabiola, and my Snapchat is at ILoveToPurpleFy. There you get to see so many different things, looks, personal life, topics, things of that nature. So yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day wherever you are, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.